Hello everyone, this is Man United Inside again on it. Welcome back.
Manchester United are reported to be among the clubs eyeing Ukrainian youngster Georgiy Sudakov ahead of the transfer window. The report stemmed from Italian outlet Tuttojuve earlier this week, which claims Manchester United are watching Sudakov and threaten Juventus' own attempts to sign the player. Georgiy Sudakov, the story so far, Georgiy Sudakov, 21, has been at Shakyar Donetsk since joining in 2017 from medalist Kharkiv, and has since progressed through the Ukrainian club's youth system to their first team. He made his debut in 2020 under Luis Castro at just 18, and has also played under former boss Roberto De Zerbi, now at Brighton. Now wearing the club's number 10 shirt, Sudakov has gone on to make 83 appearances for the club, which he has scored 13 times. This included a goal against Barcelona in the Champions League earlier this season. Sudakov plays as an attacking midfielder, although has also lined on the left wing occasionally. He is also now established as an Ukraine international, scoring once in 12 appearances, after playing 20 times for their under-21 side. Speaking to The Telegraph earlier this year, Sudakov compared his own game to James Maddison and Phil Foden in terms of style. Georgiy Sudakov player profile, age, 21, date of birth, January 9, 2002, position, attacking midfield, club, Shakhtar Donetsk, nationality, Ukraine, contract, until June 2028. How Georgiy Sudakov fits in. It is always difficult when attacking midfielders are linked to Manchester United, because there is always an expectation they will play second fiddle to Bruno Fernandes. But it is also worth noting that Fernandes is 30 next year, and United will need to find a younger deputy to at least ease his game time and allow him to be rotated at times. That might turn out to be Ahmad, or Mason Mount could seize a role, or United could look to the transfer market. If a decision is made to recruit, then it is a sensible fit to sign a young, up-and-coming talent, like Sudakov, rather than an established star. Sudakov would get time to adapt to the Premier League and learn as Fernandes' understudy. Georgiy Sudakov to Manchester United analysis. Whether this deal happens will come down to price. United are looking to strengthen in midfield, but are prioritizing options who can play further back. Sudakov is being linked to clubs across Europe right now. 90-minute report: Manchester City, Newcastle United and West Ham are all keen. Last January, Shakhtar Donetsk hit the jackpot when they sold Sudakov's former teammate Mykhailo Mudryk to Chelsea for £88.5 million. This fee looks highly overinflated based on his performances since, and will make clubs reluctant to pay anything near the same value for Sudakov. The last player United signed from Shakhtar was Fred, at £47 million in 2018, and it's clear that Sudakov won't come cheap. With that in mind, we would be surprised if this is a deal United go through with, unless scouts are especially excited about his talent. Andre Onana may be taken out of the firing line by Erik ten Hag before AFCON, with 6 feet 6 inches goalkeeper Altay Bayındır on track to get his chance for Man United as the Cameroonians' wobbles continue. By the end of another crazy, rollercoaster night in Europe for Manchester United, it was clear that Galatasaray might not be the only Turks to profit from Andre Onana's shortcomings in goal. Altay Bayındır has had to wait patiently for his chance since joining United from Fenerbahçe on deadline day in September. While Onana has started his Old Trafford career by playing every game, Bayındır has got down to work in the relative privacy of Carrington without making a first-team appearance for his new club. The 6 feet 6 inches Turkey international was brought in to provide genuine competition for Onana, though, and it is known that the Cameroon keeper is nervous about losing his place when he goes to the Africa Cup of Nations next month and misses up to 7 games for United. The reality in the wake of another difficult Champions League night is that Onana's 25-year-old understudy may be brought in before then. For tomorrow's crunch game against Newcastle at St. James Park perhaps? Probably not, but Bayındır's chances of taking over in goal improved significantly after Onana conceded 2 savable free kicks from Hakim Ziyech as Galatasaray fought back to hold United 3-3 in Istanbul on Wednesday night, a result that leaves Erik ten Hag's side on the brink of elimination from the Champions League. They must beat Bayern Munich at Old Trafford in the final group game, but will still go out if there is a winner in the Copenhagen-Galatasaray game. As he reflected on the latest setback in Europe, Ten Hag was asked about Bayındır and the competition among his keepers. Altay is getting used to the Premier League and he is getting used to European football, which is tough when you're coming from Turkey, said the United manager. But we are very pleased with that process, he's doing very well. He has to be patient, but if he works well, if he keeps his progress, he will get his chance and then he has to take it. We are very pleased with the goalkeeper group. Andre, Altai and Tom Heaton, as a group, they do really well. They have good performances and they have to push each other. Dropping Onana would be a huge call for Ten Hag, not least because he put his own credibility and judgment on the line by signing him in the summer. The Dutchman called time on David De Gea's career at United after he had won the Golden Glove Award last season and broken club records for appearances and clean sheets, then paid Inter Milan £47.2 million for his former Ajax keeper based on Onana's ability with the ball at his feet. It is what he does with his hands that is posing the biggest problem, however, with a number of high-profile blunders blighting Onana's formative months in Manchester. The 27-year-old looked like a man in utter despair at the final whistle in Istanbul, theatrically taking off his gloves and hurling them to the ground while screaming out in frustration. There was a similar reaction after he allowed Leroy Sané's shot to creep past him when United conceded the first goal of their Champions League campaign at Bayern Munich in September. They had started confidently in Bavaria but never recovered and lost 4-3. Then there was the home game against Galatasaray when Onana's poor pass-out resulted in a penalty and red card for Casemiro. Mauro Icardi missed from the spot but scored late on in a 3-2 win. Onana earned huge praise for his stoppage-time penalty save at home to Copenhagen, which gave United their only win in Europe this season, and his form and confidence had been improving until Wednesday night. He is by no means to blame for all 14 goals United have conceded in their 5 Champions League games either, but the reality is that Onana has now made 7 mistakes that have led to goals in the competition, more than any other goalkeeper over the last 6 years. The irony is that Bayender, too, came in for criticism towards the end of his spell at Fenerbahce before becoming United's first Turkish player when he made a £4.3 million move to Old Trafford. There were concerns that his performances had been affected by shoulder surgery in 2021 and an operation on a back hernia earlier this year, as he lost the captaincy and the support of a section of fans. A more traditional keeper in the De Gea mold, Bayender will come under similar scrutiny to Onana whenever he gets his chance, although he cost a fraction of the price. Meanwhile, some observers continue to mischievously point out that De Gea is still without a club and available 5 months after his rather shoddy departure from United, with one-time England keeper Dean Henderson also leaving for Crystal Palace. You suspect Ten Hag would rather play himself in goal than re-sign De Gea, but it now feels like a case of when, not if, he will have to consider taking Onana out of the firing line.